Anyway, look, before I get started, because I'm talking football today predominantly, but I will say this. Opie. Now, I have never had a problem with the Opster. Yeah. I mean, I just haven't. Yeah, I'll bring in, I'm going to let Geno wait for this. Ladies and gentlemen, my new buddy and frequent guest on the show, as he comes in there and spews his little sniper-esque diatribes when I have his lovely wife on. Please welcome Geno Bisconte. Hey, Geno.
Yo, dude.
Hey, happy Super Bowl Sunday.
How are you, man? Thanks for having me on. You were chatting with the wife yesterday, said you might want to chat some football. I'm like, I'll come by to bug you about football. I will.
Yeah, I have tons of bets to go over with you, but let me just say, you don't have to comment, but like 5 years ago, now I have done Opie's show, and I don't know where you stand with Opie. Okay. I've done his show, never an issue. You know, he said you were great. We hung out. You know, I have nothing bad to say. Look, Geno, I have enough people to fight in this fucking thing. I have no problem with the Opster, not at all. So what happens is about what it seems like 5 years ago. Well, let me tell you what happens, Geno. I get somebody. I have somebody in the Stuttering John Army lets me know that this Ron the waiter. Do you know this guy?
Ron the waiter? No. I mean, I've heard of him, and I know Ant was shitting on him. I saw that, but I don't know anything about him. But I mean,
I don't know who he is.
No. Well, I mean, Opie, I'll make it about me. When I used to do In Hot Water, I brag like I'm putting up a classic clip today. Again, it's like I was like Bill Pat. I was like whatchamacallit, Kerr on the fucking Bulls. I was the assist man. It's like Paxson. It's like, here you go. You set people up to be funny because you're confident in who you are. That's not Opie. Opie literally has a guy like Ron the waiter, so he seems like the funnier guy when it's like he thinks on a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 9, and he's like, I better only have this guy who's an 8, but he's a 2, thanks to the 2, and he brings on a guy who's a 1. And, you have a combined power of 3. And that's the thing. Like Anthony's a 10 when it comes to fucking radio. Sorry to sneak in a shameless plug, but he is. And Opie fucking must have been realizing it slowly. And then when he was with, it really, and look, now you got me bad mouthing Opie, which I don't even want to do, because just like Opie says who he is. Opie does a shit little show, so he doesn't have to try to do a good show. So he's like, I'm not even trying.
Yeah, okay. But look, I'm not here to bash him. All I'm going to tell you is this, Geno, this is what happened.
as we go into our 4th minute of bashing him.
No. I'm not bashing him. All I'm saying is I get this text, and they said this guy, Ron the waiter, was trashing you, and he's Opie's co-host. So I just DM Opie, and I just go, hey, Opie, why is your co-host trashing me? I haven't said one bad thing about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get a response, and I guess he blocks me on Twitter. So then he does a show recently, I guess last night, or I don't know, or yesterday, and starts trashing me. And he brings up something, Geno. So he brings up something. This is from, like, I don't know, 4 years ago. So again, everyone starts digging me. Whenever I go live, it's amazing. Vince, stop digging me. Anyway, so Geno, so what happened was Opie sends this tweet out. Hey, here's a great moment of Stuttering John and Artie Lang.
Right.
And it sounds like it's going to be a great complimentary thing. And then I click on it, and it's Artie ripping me an asshole and trashing me on the show. And I go, Opie, how is this complimentary to me? And so again, last night, I guess he does this show, Geno, and he goes, yeah, John's exhausting. I put out a video and was complimentary of John, and he lost his shit. I'm like, no, because you said it was complimentary. But Geno, it was art. It was like me saying, here's a complimentary piece of Geno and and Pinky, and then I put it out, the 3-minute clip, and it's Pinky bashing the shit out of you the whole time. Are you gonna think that's complimentary to you?
No, but this is what they do. Like we were like Chad's a fucking untalented Florida middle, and he lies about shit, and then he's like, "Well, Keanu read text." Well, I'll never understand the Dabbleverse. I won't like how they just shit on people. But then it's like when you're like, "No, here are the receipts." They're like, "No, you're sharing text." I'll say for the billionth time, don't send out a text. Don't send out a dick pic. Don't send out a picture of your cunt slob whore wife Kayla Ricada if you're going to be shocked when it gets shared. But this is what they do. And then to fucking he's like, no, like and Chad's talking about the guy that he's like, no, he still likes me. Look, here's what he texted me. You just shared his text.
Yes.
Fucking untalented Florida hack middle. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, and this is my problem with the Dabbleverse. Like everyone's like, oh, I'll never understand how it's gotten to this. I've said this countless times. It's like, why are people like trying to win over other people by shitting on other people when we're just trying to do a show here? And people are like, well, no one's watching the show. I'm like, yeah, I guess no one is, but I'm still doing it. I'm still enjoying it. I have my core fans that are on my Patreon. I have people that love live streaming football. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, well, even this, like, what does Anthony think about? John, Anthony doesn't care. And God forgive me. Watch, I'll read his text. I'm kidding. But Anthony's like anyone else. Like, look, we're just all fucking around on YouTube, Fucking, yeah. I'll say it again. Like, my fucking, I'm nothing but grateful to Anthony. Like, I owe nothing to Opie. Opie's one of those guys that every time when I was touring with, look, this is the one thing I owe to Opie. One time when I was touring with Norton, Opie came along and we were at a strip club. This had to be every bit of 15 years ago. And it's me, Opie, and Jim at the strip club, right? And of course, it's like a prescription murder of Columbo. They see and just assume who you are. I got this double hooker or whatever stripper couch dance, and I didn't realize till I was done because I'm so dumb. Like, can't believe they bought me that. And Norton's like, they think you're Anthony. I'm like, oh yeah.
I
owe that to Opie.
All right. What is the prescription murder episode now? Because I know it.
Prescription Murder is it's not even the episode it's the first ever movie with Columbo. When you read the trivia and they wanted Bing Crosby to do it, they wanted someone else to do it, but it was Columbo. And the whole fucking premise is the guy murders his wife at their apartment beforehand. Then he gets a fucking actress that he's using and pretending he's in love with, and she looks not even exactly like her, but enough like her where they get into a fight on the plane and she storms off and they're like, no, it's not me. And it's like, people will remember, because he's a psychologist, Gene Barry's like, people will remember what they want to remember and they'll assume it's her. They looked at me with those. They're like, well, that's Anthony. Let's get him some whores.
Yeah. All right. And it's funny when you talk about Baby Fatso. I swear to God, I was trying to write this to Keanu when I was super chatting her. I think it was last night or the night before, whatever. No, I was trying to write because when you call him like the Florida middle, when you and him did that comedy show in Atlantic City, Dirty Deeds and I tried to write the super chat, but super chat wouldn't let me write these words. Dirty Deeds and I would go, every joke Chad said, Dirty Deeds would lean into my ear and go, Hiroshima. And then another bomb, Baby Fatso says, and I would lean into Dirty Deeds and go, Nagasaki. And we would just go back and forth because every joke bombed.
Well, the thing that gets, and people can shit on me all they want. They can. I mean, I don't mind for what I'm about to say, but it's like, what really annoys me with Chad is like, and look, he lived with me for a while. I was friends with him. We have a lot of the same friends. And then like in 2022, he went bananas. He accused Anthony of all this shit. We got into huge fights, but whatever. But what drives me nuts is when he just does dumb lies. It's like, you're reminded of how stupid Chad is. And this is what annoys me. It's like, look, I'm not saying that. This is one of my favorite lines ever. I said to Anthony once talking about COVID, I'm like, look, Anthony, I'm not saying I'm a genius. And he goes, nobody is saying that, Geno, which is hilarious. I say it all the time. But like when you look at guys like Chad, they're just failures, okay? And don't get me wrong. Like I've known him personally. He's very charming, and I like we get away with that. You know, people bust my balls. You're very charming off stage, John. We hang out. We have a good time. We're nice people. We got stuff. But I want to make people laugh. Chad, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but just so you can understand me, I look at Chad. I'm like, Chad's one of those guys that's like, well, I'm not good at anything. I'll just do stand up because he thinks stupid people do stand up. No, you're stupid, which is why you suck at stand up. And they don't say like if you watch, and maybe I'm an idiot, but or stubborn. You watch him after he lies, like he's literally in the camera. He did a 2-hour cope stream calling out me and Geno for calling him a liar, and all I said was, "You're lying, Chad." Because this is what Chad said. He's like, "Yeah, Geno called me drunk after I've been fighting with him for 2 years, right?" And he's like, "Geno called me drunk to tell me they were fired." Okay, so for the month before that, when the actual mole, who we think we know it was, Garrett told me, was giving you all this stuff. That's one mole. But then after all of this, I called him that day to lie to him and say I was fired when I wasn't fired in that meeting. Gavin didn't fire me and Chrissy till a week later when he's like, I just wanted the subs. But his story makes no sense. None whatsoever.
It never does. It never
Yeah,
does.
and then he goes, so what if I did lie? And then he throws
out he's still saying that
Chad's the dumbest motherfucker in the Dabbleverse, and me and you are saying this, John.
He still maintains I struck his Patreon. Geno, if I strike someone, I will take full credit. You last night asked while Pinky was sniping me, I was fucking striking him.
Yeah.
I will strike at will. But I never struck his Patreon. But Geno, it's been a year. And he still whines that I did.
But now you know
and I never did.